Tell me about the good old
Gosh,
days.
speaking of which, when I was a kid, the propaganda was how breakfast was the most important part of the day, right?
Oh, please. Yeah, I heard that too.
And I'll be honest with you, I'd get up for my breakfast, and you'd see that cereal as part of a balanced breakfast. So you were under this impression that you had to have a bowl of cereal with milk, orange juice, toast.
Oh yeah, toast.
And maybe if your mom was really industrious, maybe some bacon on the side. And it's like, who could eat that much food, for crying out loud? It's really just supposed to be a bowl of cereal and you're done and you're out the door.
Every commercial for these old cereals, it's like part of a balanced breakfast and toast. Why is toast such a huge deal?
Which makes no sense, because all it is more carbohydrates and fat, which you're also already getting from the milk and cereal. That's what those are.
You know why I think they're always in those commercials? I think it's because it's something that a kid can make. Well, you could put 2 pieces of toast in the toaster, they pop up, and then you rub the butter on it, and you're all set. And you don't have to cook the bacon, eggs, set the house on fire.
So were you like a cereal kind of guy? You liked cereal in the morning?
I did. I mean, I don't know how much of it I ate before school or anything like that, because I'm getting up for school. I'm not thinking about breakfast. I'm thinking about, I have to go to school today. But I would eat cereal even on any time of day. And I was we had some weird cereals growing up. I used to get them half the time for the toy inside.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. I think they're still doing that with certain cereals. I'm not positive. I know that with I think the best thing I ever got were the Garfield pencil toppers. Do you remember those?
Nope.
No, because we're a bit of a few years between us. The Garfield pencil toppers, I believe they came in Fruit Loops. And it was Odie or Garfield, and they actually had like little pieces. They moved around, like you could like move the tail, and his eyes would go back and forth and stuff. It was kind of neat. Okay,
sounds just loopy enough to be cool.
Yeah, well, it's like a Happy Meal toy. You're not getting like an actual toy. You're getting like something weird. Okay, it was neat, and but I remember too. There are weird cereals based on popular culture properties that they would come out, then they would disappear.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate if you really like that cereal, right?
Sometimes they were good. Sometimes they were actually good cereals that were based on these properties.
I don't know what kind of cereals you liked. When it came to having breakfast, I wasn't into the sugary cereals. Honestly. I liked Cheerios, Rice Krispies, and Rice Chex. Those were my 3 standards. The first...
I'm so sorry.
and none of those. I didn't care for Fruity Pebbles. I didn't care for Cocoa Pebbles. I didn't care for honey. I even tried the honey nut Cheerios. Didn't care for those.
What?
Okay?
They're still around. I get those
plain Cheerios. But I did the first sugar cereal that I tried because it looked good in the commercial.
Right.
Was Cookie Crisp cereal. Okay. Now, first, it was very sweet, so I didn't take to it too well. I was also, when you're young, you tend to be getting sick more often because you haven't built up an immunity yet.
Oh, yeah.
And I just happened to get the flu just when I tried this cereal, and I associated the two. I got sick. I threw up, didn't go to school that day, never touched the Cookie Crisp cereal again. My mother ended up throwing them out. I associated with getting sick, so never had the Cookie Crisp again. And it was a lot of years before I went and I tried another sugary cereal.
Okay.
That was just me.
So you never tried any of the theme cereals based on movies?
Not until late in the 80s.
Okay.
So there was one cereal that I got and actually really liked. And it was a sugary cereal. It was it was early 80s. I think it was 81. This was around the time of Pac-Man and video games were just starting to get popular. Donkey Kong cereal. Remember it?
I do. I remember the commercial. Love that crunch. Donkey Kong. And I remember that. Yeah.
Love that crunch. And Mario, clobbering the piece of cereal with the mallet, because the cereals were all shaped like the what do they call the barrels that the monkey would.
That's right. I think I did get that as well. I know I must have gotten it at least once because it rings so much of a bell. It's like an implanted memory. So I must have bought it at least once. Okay, yeah. Or had my parents get it for me, obviously.
But I never, this is interesting. I never actually ate it for breakfast, though.
Really?
I always ate it as a snack at night.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's how I would eat a lot of my cereal, too.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, Big Al's bringing up this one. I'm going to mention this one next. C-3POs.
Yeah. That was my second one. That one was later 80s, wasn't it? No, actually, this
is all like early 80s after Jedi. Around the time of Jedi.
C-3PO cereal was discontinued in 86. It was introduced in 84. So it was, I guess it was mid 80s.
Oh.
This was actually after Jedi, right? Because 84, wasn't that like 2 years or a year? No, that was a year after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
yep.
It might have been a year after, and you're like, "Wow, Star Wars is back!"
Star Wars, yeah, and
like,
I remember I wanted to get all of the trading cards that came in them.
That's right, you got trading cards in there. Yeah,
well, they had trading cards. Apparently, they also had like some kind of plastic Rebel rockets. They had masks on the back. I remember having a Chewbacca mask. The Luke Skywalker mask looks eerily like Mark Hamill. I mean, it's, that like the artwork that like the style that you'd see on the cover of a Mad magazine. So it really looks like him, but just cartoonish enough to be off. But apparently I read somewhere that they also had deals for like mail away to Kenner for action figures, but I don't remember any of that.
I'm trying to remember if I did that or not. I remember mailing away for the Emperor, but that was through the
that was all through the regular, action figure, proof of purchase thing. I don't remember Kellogg's C-3POs, but apparently that's the case because I'm actually looking right now at the article on Cereal Graveyard Wiki. There is such a thing. Look it up.
Oh, Rosefire brings up there was a cereal based on the Swedish chef from the Muppets. I remember that. She says, we begged my mom to buy it, only 2 bites taste terrible. I didn't hate it, but I didn't buy it often. It's not, you notice how that one didn't spring to my head. But someone else brought up, it was Brian Gilmartin, it was the Nintendo cereal. There was a Nintendo cereal based on the NES, and I remember the stupid commercial for it, and it was like, Nintendo, it's for breakfast cereal. Nintendo, it's a cereal. Wow, and it came with, it's like the Nintendo cereal system, and it came with 2 bags. One was for Mario, the other was for Zelda. Okay, and like they were different flavored. You understand?
Wow.
And it came with hints for the games inside the box. I only bought it once. I didn't care that much for it. But a cereal that I loved though was the Batman cereal. When the 89 movie came out. Did you try that at all?
I didn't. I remember it being on the shelf though, yeah.
That was actually a good cereal. It was like a sweet corn cereal, and it was actually very good. And I was a little upset that it didn't get repurposed into something else, or maybe they could have released it again when Batman Returns came out.
I almost feel like they should just, all of these cereals, they should all be the same cereal. And you just change the shape. You just punch them out in different shapes and rebrand them with whatever you're trying to promote.
Well, let me tell you, that happened with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cereal. Okay.
Were they shaped like turtles?
They were shaped like turtles and like Bebop and Rocksteady, and they had Chex pieces, but they called them Ninja Nets. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
And I really loved the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cereal. After eating a bowl, your teeth would hurt a little.
Oh,
that's how much sugar. Like the actual Chex pieces were coated in sugar.
I get a little worried about the shape of some of these cereals. I remember I think it was it a Robin Hood cereal or something that had little arrow shapes in the cereal, and they did not look like arrows.
It could have been a novelty themed cereal sold in adult shops. Anyways,
yes, exactly.
Because I want to tell you that the turtle cereal disappeared, went off the shelf because the turtles became they basically weren't as popular anymore, right? But then years later, I see on the store shelf Spider-Man cereal because they had the Spider-Man cartoon on Fox.
Sure.
And I'm like looking at it, and I'm saying it's the exact same thing as the turtle cereals.
Good.
And except they call, like, instead of it being like one of, like, Leonardo, it's the Green Goblin marshmallow. Do you understand? It's like, and you I looked at the back of the box. This is the turtle cereal. It's the same exact thing. You're not fooling me, and I still bought it because I liked it. But anyway.
That is so funny. Yeah. Speaking of marshmallows in cereals, I know that's a very popular thing. My problem with that is, are they really marshmallows? Because either if they're marshmallows, they're stale because they go in dry and they're still kind of chewy when you add milk to them.
Here we go. We're going to get on the marshmallow rant, but I didn't want to address roast fire. What do you like to have for breakfast nowadays? I'll be honest with you, the roast fire. I've never been huge on eating breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
It tends to make me want to run to the bathroom if I eat too fast in the morning. So I'm giving TMI, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But when I do eat breakfast type foods, though, I like the usual bacon, eggs, maybe pancakes, French toast. I love biscuits and gravy. Oh man, yeah.
I've become a late morning, early afternoon brunch kind of guy. So like after my morning department meeting, I'll go and make myself a ham, egg, and cheese bagel, and that'll be my breakfast and lunch.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're doing like a brunch thing then.
Yep, exactly.
And
I make it as a sandwich, so it's that much easier to eat.
Blasphemy, thou shalt eat breakfast. Well, we'll see. Like I said, oh man, this reminds me of when I was invited to go on a deep sea fishing trip. Should I tell this horror story?
I'm interested.
I don't know if I want to repeat this horror story. Okay.
I'm wondering, though, if it results in you chumming the waters.
Yes, it does. Anyway, okay, so we stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts on the way, and it's early in the morning. Like, we got up early to go on this thing, like 4 a.m. or something. And like, I'm like, okay, and I got like some kind of beef soup, right, to eat there. Okay. Big mistake. Do not eat beef stew. And this was the first time I think I'd ever been on the high seas. Okay. Yeah. The real high seas, not the metaphorical ones we talk about. And the boat's going up and down, really fast, up and down, really fast. And I'm standing there and I'm like, after a while, I'm like, this isn't fun like it was the first few times it was going on. And I'm like, and then,
yeah.
And then it'd be okay for a little bit. And then,
yep.
And over the side, oh my goodness, seasick. That's what they call seasick, right?
Yep.
That was not fun. I did catch 30 mackerel that trip, though.
That was a special kind of bait.